real quick, real disclaimer. I just let you know I do not promote violence. I'm not promoting go out there and fight everybody. Just all I'm saying is if you run up, you might get done up. That's all I'm saying. So without further ado, let's start the video. Sorry, I almost forgot. I got a time section too where I'm gonna put where the time is at on one of these sidebars or whatever or top where you can skip at so you can learn. I'm always trying to promote positivity. I'm always trying to get your mind right, try to make sure you know, just skip to it if you want to so you can learn that I'm a decent guy. So, most of these, I think most, yeah, all these fights I'm gonna tell you today, most are in Arizona. So I usually go to this park in Arizona, and I used to play basketball over there. I don't know why I'm saying it like that. Hold up. Bought this park and everything, and we were we were winning in the beginning, and then we ended up losing. And we ended up losing the whole game, and I got heated. Anybody that knows me, if I lose a game I shouldn't lose, especially playing basketball, I'm gonna get very upset. So, uh, I kind of escalated the fight. Excuse me, sorry about that. Did the fight, and I was telling you, I was like, "Yo, run it back." If you don't know what running back is, I'm like, "Give me another one." Run it back, like was, I'm like that game was a fluke, and the dude was able to like walk on. It was three guys. It was one guy and it was like two teenagers, like 17. They're 17, right? I know, right? It's gonna be a crazy story. So I was telling them like, "Yo, run it back, run it back." And it was like, "Oh no, I gotta go," and this and this and that. And so it's funny. I made a not a is video, and I called them the worst word. I was like, because they were like Mexicans. They were Mexicans, and I was like, man, yeah, man, Donald Trump shouldn't have got rid of y'all. And then they all just turned back like they were like, what you just say? You can see like they were mad, like in their eyes it was like you could see it in their eye. They was pissed when I said that, and so when you're engaged in a fight, you don't even know that you're in a fight. You're like, oh snap, I can't take back what I said. So I'm gonna get up and stand up. And I'm gonna show y'all how the fight goes. But I'm gonna tell you one more thing before I tell you. It wasn't. I was raised in Houston, so when I moved to Arizona, I knew some people, but I didn't really know people. So every time I got in a fight or said something like that, I just felt so disrespected because imagine you growing up in say Florida, and you go down to Houston, so you think everybody in Houston's weak and all this and this and that. You're gonna have a grudge. You're gonna have a grudge no matter what. It's like the football teams and this and that. So I got a grudge with everybody. I'm not saying that I'm going out there just provoking people. No, no, no. I was just upset that I lost the game. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like in my mind, I'm like, man, y'all boys, man. Because when I lose the game in Houston, I shake everybody's hands. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, I know who you are. I know who you are. I see you next week. But like in Arizona, I'm like, nah, 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 nah. Because you don't see people again in Arizona. You see them like once a month. So if you lose to somebody, you're like, nah, nah, nah. You're gonna give me my rematch now. You know what I'm saying? Like I got that. You know what I'm saying? The ish slur, which is I shouldn't have said. I was mad. I apologize, guys. I know I made a video before and I should have said that, but I was pissed off. So I can't take back what I said. So after I made that, you know, both of them. It was two. It was three. It was three guys. So the main one, like the kind of like the one that looked like they could beat me up. I was saying like the one that looked like beat me up. He just had this whole like boss look. He like he's just like, what you want to do? Like he looked like he been through fights. He had his little two minions on him. So I'm like, I'm sizing up. I'm like, what you want to do? 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 You know what I'm saying? I'm looking at both of them. I'm like, what's good? What's good? And so, in my mind, I'm like, when you're in a fight, when you about to, like I said, when you're just so angry, you don't even pay attention. I'm not even paying attention. I'm not even paying attention to what's going on. I'm just like so mad that I lost. I'm doing this over a basketball game that I lost. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm the villain, but I'm not the villain. Cause I'm like, if you doing a 2v1, I'm like, bro, come on, seriously, 2v1? I'm like, bro, I ain't. Anyway, on the camera, anyway, whatever. So the dude, he somehow when the fight stopped somehow. I don't know what it is. I think I talked him out. I was like, bro, 1v1 me. I think I talked him out of it. And then so we get to fighting, we get to 1v1 and everything. So we're fighting. So we're like, uh, hold on. yada yada yada, so I can give it 1v1. But I play soccer like other Mexicans, and it's a basketball court, and so in the park, if you know it, it's like a tennis court where Mexicans play at soccer at, and I play soccer with them just for the heck of it. And I got their respect, but that's what I'm trying. I'm gonna explain that later, but I had some people at the soccer side. They backed me up. Like they was like, "Hey, bro, you ain't gonna jump my homie." They was like, "Nah, you better get that 1v1." I think they came in like that, and that's why that's why I got that 1v1 in. So I end up fighting the teenager and everything, and it was like a brief fight. It was like he was swinging, and I was like, bro, I was trying to throw like a power punch. I'm like, I'm just gonna knock you out, bro. I'm like whatever, cause the kid was skinny. He was skinny. Somehow I slipped. I slipped on the sidewalk, and he hit me. He hit me good. He bow. But like I said, he was skinny. But we traded hits. It's like the movies like Creed. Like it's like pow pow. And then so everybody was like, oh, because when you slip and fall, everybody's gonna be like, oh. And so I'm thinking in my mind, I'm like, oh man, I got embarrassed. And I look up, dude's bleeding out of his nose. Like his nose is just bleeding hard. Like I'm like, oh snap. So I guess we're just sizing up. Like he was a tough kid. Tough teenager. He was tough, but he just they stopped the fight and everything, and which is good because his hit didn't do nothing to me. If you bleeding from your nose, if I hit him a couple more times, dude would have been out. Like I said, I don't. It was a stupid fight. I'm just mad because I lost the game. I Anybody that knows me, they know. This fight is actually I end up being cool with the guy I got fight. I do have a lot people I fight with. I end up being cool with, which is I'll explain more stories as it goes. But one day we went up. We I saw him again at the park, and we ended up teaming up. It wasn't even no hatred. It was just like, hey, you want to team up? You want to team up? And then we end up like chilling we was like smoking together and chilling and everything, and um it wasn't like it wasn't no hatred towards it. We just got the fight out the way, and we ended up being cool after that. And that's what I like about fighting. One thing, when you get cool with the person you fight with, that's like a cool feeling. Cause I get in a lot of fights. People don't understand. I get in a lot of fights, but I also have the honor of being cool with you, rather than just be like, oh yeah, I dogged them out. I never do that. When I get in a fight, it's 90% of the time is stupid. Is when I'm telling you the stories, you're gonna be like, "But that was stupid." I'm like, yeah, I know. So that was the first fight. That was the first fight. This this is the time when I went to the club, and I end up getting in a fight with like a lesbian girl. But the funny part is we almost we almost hooked up at the end of the story. So one more time, I'm gonna say it one more time. So I went to the club. I got in a fight. I got in a not like a fist fight, not a fist fight. I got in an argument with her, and then we ended up hooking up at the end of the day. I'm telling you, man. When you hear my stories, you go like, man, you're like, Mike, you are wild, bruh. Movie theaters in Arizona and everything, and so this dude was talking about like making music. I don't know how we ended up talking. We just ended up talking. It was a coworker of mine, right? And then so he was talking about, yo, we're going somewhere today and all that. And I was like, yo, I'm down. Like I said, I don't know nobody in Arizona, so I'm like, invite me along, I'm down. And so he takes me, after work, he drives me to it where he stays at. He was homeless back in the day or something like that. And he was staying with another coworker. Girl had big. I don't want to say because YouTube, but oh man, girl was. I was like, bro, you stay with her. I was like, oh heck yeah. So I'm just like, in my whole mind, I'm like, oh, I got a scheme. Like this is it. I'm like, yes, yes. We pre-game up, and then they talk about going. We go to the club and everything, and then we go to the club. So I'm buying the girl drinks and everything, like an idiot. You know what I'm saying? But that was back then when I had money. But I was well, you know what I'm saying? I'm talking to the with the girl with the his roommate, and they wasn't like that though. I don't want y'all thinking that like, oh, they was messing with each other. No, he just needed somewhere to stay. They had a mutual agreement, so I wasn't trying to hit on his girl or nothing like that. They was just staying there, just to let you know. So they go to this club a lot. They had like VIP like passes in a way, and they took care of them everything. And then when you're drinking, you just kind of get crazy. I don't know how it started. Like I said, half like I just be doing it. Just it happened so quick. So we're in the club and we're all like dancing and everything, and this girl she she pushes up on somebody. She pushes up on the girl that I like, the girl with the, and then so I feel like it's my I'm like, yo, don't be pushing on her. So I don't know why I did that. I don't know why. So we just we kind of we faced up like like what's good, when people do the chest bump, like what's good, like what's good, side side. Mind you, this is a girl, by the way, so I'm really out of there. I know, right? So whatever, I think I'm cool, so we squash it. Somehow I get thrown out. They throw me out the club. They're like, hey, you gotta go and all this and this and that. I'm like, bro, you're making it seem like I hit the girl. I was like, bro, I'm just trying to protect her, just it was just a stare down. It was just a stare down. It wasn't no fight. I ain't gonna really. In all my fight stories, repeat it. I never hit first. I never hit first. I always let the person come up to me. For that last story I told you, they always all my stories. I never swing first, ever, 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 unless I say it. But I never swung first. And me out and everything. So I'm like, oh man, that's messed up. So they throw me out. But here's the thing. This is before I know about Lyft, Uber. So I'm like scared. I'm panicking, right? I'm like, I'm stuck downtown. I'm like, nah. I'm just stuck. I'm like, I don't know what to do. So I go to like a bar to the side. I'm like, oh yeah, yeah, yada. But I forgot. I know I'm misplacing my stories. I met some cool people before we went in the club, and I was talking to them. So I incognito back in the club. Like I was talking to those people outside. They was like, yeah, we can get you back in. I was like, we know people. Tell me why. Why? As soon as I get back in, the girl that I got an attitude with, the girl I was sizing up, is leaving with the big and the person that drove me there. So I'm looking. I'm like, I'm all confused. I'm like, don't y'all hate each other? You know what I'm saying? So somehow I scheme in there. And they called a lift. I don't know what I did. I just said something smooth, and I got in the lift. I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, oh, thank God, because I'm like, I'm just trying to get home at this point. At this point, I'm like, look, all y'all motherfuckers are crazy. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I'm done with y'all. So we get home, and then the girl that I sized up with, like I said, she's like a lesbian or something like that. She tried to mess around with the girl with the big. Just kidding, you know. She tried to mess around with it, and the girl wasn't having it. And then, hopefully, y'all understand what I'm saying. The girl wasn't having it. The girl with the wasn't having it. She didn't kick her out the house. She just kind of like, nah, I don't want to. She's even a dude that he was like, yeah, she was like, yeah, she's kind of like crazy in the head. And then so the girl I sized up, she was outside, and I was like, look, if I, because when I seen him, I was like, I was thinking threesome. I was like, oh, threesome. I'm like, I'm about to jump in this. I'm like, yes, this is what I've been. That was the whole plan. I'm like, threesome. I'm about to get a threesome in. Happened because they was just, I don't know why it happened. So I was like, I'm like, I'm gonna get one of you girls. I'm like, I'm not leaving here empty handed. So I ended up talking to the lesbian girl, and yeah, I don't know what I said. I was just smooth with her. I just said some stuff, and then she was like, yeah, I'll chill with you. So we ended up going towards a house. They ended up driving her towards a house. So everything was going to plan. I'm like, okay, I got a girl tonight. I'm about to get late. You know what I'm saying? That's cool. And then when we went to our house, when you're drinking so much, I used the restroom. I went to the room. It was a room with a light on, and it was a room without a light on. So I was thinking that she was getting herself together or something like that. So I went in the room. I went to the wrong room. Now remember, this is the point. I went to the wrong room, and um, so I'm just sitting around the room, just like patient, just like all proper, like is she gonna come in? She gonna come in? Somebody opens the door, like the front door, and the girl's like, it was like some random white girl. She's like, who are you? And I'm like, who are you? And she had like a guy next to her that we just like staring down, and then she walks in the room the room I should have been in with the lesbian girl. She's like, why do you got your shirt off? Why you got your shirt off? And everybody's just chaotic. So I'm just telling, like the white girl brought in another guy. She was cheating. Like they were a couple, but she was cheating too. So I guess they just cheated on each other. I don't know. So me and it was a black guy. We just like chilling. Was like, they was like, yeah. He was like, we was just happy. We was just looking at each other like, yeah, like just like, cause we know we just trying to get something. And then so they start fighting and everything. And the dude kind of, They started fighting. So me and the guy tried to break them up and all that. Girl rings my head. She bow hits me in the back of the head. She's a native girl, by the way. It's just I should have said that at the beginning of the story. She hits my head. My head just ringing. I'm like, "Ying." I'm like, yo, I didn't think somebody could hit you so hard. I'm like, and she smiled like she hit me. I was like, really? You know what I'm saying? I'm like, what the? Did you really hit me? Fast forward a little bit, cause let's fast forward. So the white girl was panicking. She was just tripping. She's like, ah, who are you? Who are you in my house? I'm like, you're cheating. Luckily, because I was so upset. I was like, I ain't leaving because I'm getting so. It was stupid. Trust me, I was stupid. I'm telling you, just my decision making was stupid back then. I was the cops and everything, and then the cops they let me go. They was like, we understand. He was like, you're at the wrong place at the wrong time. You can go. But like I said, I didn't know about Lyft or Uber, and I was like, I asked the cops, I was like, yo, can you take me home? Can you take me home? He was like, oh, I gotta do it a bank robbery, or I gotta do this and this and that. I'm like, bro, can you take me halfway? I'm like, can you do something? He was like, oh no, we can't do it. And I was like, so I start cussing out the cops. I'm like, man, this and this. And he was like, all right, buddy, you're going to jail. And then they put me in the back of the car. They didn't take me to jail. I just fell. They put me in the back of the car for like 4 hours. I fell asleep. Then they dropped me off halfway there, and more. I went to the wrong room, and then that's how the fight started and everything. But it's weird because I end up arguing with the girl, and I end up coming back home. So that's what I'm saying. My ghetto story. They only get more crazier as it goes. So just stay tuned. Like what I'm saying. It only gets crazier as it goes. I was in the video because I don't want to make longer videos because YouTube doesn't pay out like that and all that. Don't worry about that. So what I'm saying is don't. The reason why I'm saying in the beginning of the video I don't provoke violence and all that. My dad, yes, my dad thought when he watched my first ghetto stories video, he thought I was proclaiming to be a thug. First off, but you don't see all this gaming stuff and all that and this and that. I'm not no dang thug. I'm just saying if you ever approach me in the wrong way and I feel threatened, yeah, I'm gonna throw some hands at you, bro. That's all I'm saying. But I'm not sitting there saying, this and that. Like I said earlier in the story, I don't never throw the first punch. I will never throw that. I never I only lost one fight in my life, and that was the first ever fight I ever got into. And was it the first fight? No, maybe the third fight. Only third fight. You're gonna have to mess. You're gonna have to talk to me for that one. I can't leak that. Can't tell you why. You know what I'm saying? Unless I get paid. But yeah, my dad said that, and it made me think. And I was like, all right. So let me tell my audience, hey, I'm not telling you to fight. I even told in my last video. I'm gonna leave the link in there when the end of the video. I even said, do not fight. Go get females. Don't do this. I tell people don't fight because it doesn't solve nothing. You know what I'm saying? I just got it out my way. So But what I'm trying to say is that every time I do get in a fight and I'm outnumbered, luckily it's some people that have my back because they see that I'm just a chill, cool guy. It's people, when my dad stay at or anybody else stay at, they will stay in one state, so they think they run it, they think they cool, this and that. But hey, I'm up here thugging in Houston, I'm up here thugging in Arizona, and I'm gonna be thugging here probably if I get to know people. People just think that because I stay in this, I run this state, I do this and this and that and this and that, like New York, New York and LA, we run it, but they won't come to Texas. They won't go to Arizona. They won't go down this and this and that. You know what I'm saying? That's what I learned from my experiences and all that stuff. Like luckily people did have my back because I was doing just outlandish dumb things. So I had to let y'all know that like if I really wanted to be a thug and all that, I can come and form a group like that, but that's not the way I get down. I get people respect and people be like, hey, you better get let Mike get a one on one, but don't try to jump him because it's funny that people actually that's what people do. They go to 1v1s, jumping and all that. That's the first thing on their mind. I'm like, bro, you can't fight. You can't fight us. But I'm a gamer and a skater. Like I don't train to fight. You know what I'm saying? I'll probably put that in another video, like my fighting tactics. But I'm like, bro, I don't train to fight. But yeah, my dad was like, saying that, and I just thought that's funny. You know what I'm saying? The fact that you watch your son videos and that all you got from is, oh, you think he's a thing, he think he's a thug. Not once did I say in my video that I'm a thug. Not once in any video that I said I was a thug. These are ghetto stories. I'm ghetto, but I never said I was a thug. I ain't never said I was a gangster. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, bro, come on, man. Talking about my dad talking about if you want to fight, this and that. Like my dad getting up to like he's like 60 or something like that. I'm like, bro, if we really fought, you already know it been some fights I avoided just because of it. I'm like, I'm not going out there just fighting people. I fought people that's bigger than me, smaller than me, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not sitting there saying I'm the ultimate warrior. You know what I'm saying? I'm not sitting there saying it just because I felt disrespected. All my fights I just felt disrespected. But I just think that's funny, You know what I'm saying? Like my dad, don't think my no, my dad's not in my head at all. Mean, you know what I'm saying? I'm just like I had to address that situation. That way, if he ever does watch another video of this, now if he does watch this, which is he won't, because he ain't supportive of anything. He just think he knows everything. I and that's another reason too. I see why people don't get in relationships with their dad. I see a lot of. I used to think my dad was cool, and then now the whole time, I'm like, man, whatever, bro. Like, get out of my face with that stuff, bro. If that's the only thing that runs through your mind is that you want to fight me, that's crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's crazy. That's crazy. Like literally, anytime I see my family, anytime I see anything, the last thing in my mind is fighting somebody I know. That's the last thing. I don't like arguing. I don't like fighting. I hate it. I really despise it, bro. I hate it. But I just have to let y'all know because it's funny. It's funny stories. So just letting y'all know. There you go. Appreciate you tuning in. NHY 24 out. Some shit like that. I don't know.